Here we go again, and I'm Destrous, and here is my ATA faction for content number 2. This is not a devlog yet because I didn't work any code from now. So here's the concept. I have a 12 faction in my RTAs that I'm dreaming for. As you can see, there's red combination of color of blue, green, violet, light blue, and also white and black, yellow. So here's the first faction. I call it Celestial Empire. From the roots of civilization near the Pacific coast wanting to bring back the authority of the mandate of the heaven from their newly formed empire. Using the power of the sun, they rely on mechas and laser used from World War. And for the meantime, I don't know what World War is, except World War One and World War Two. I don't know if it's World War Three. For the lore, I'm thinking about that maybe soon or it will not coming soon. I will brainstorm. I think about that for a long time and but not yet. Give me a long time. Using the power of the sun, they rely on mechas and lasers used from the post-World War, and by threatening their neighboring state of economy, they upgrade to advanced and inflexible arsenals and infantry. Switching from land to air and to sea is their specialty. However, they didn't conquer the subterranean as they are weak without the power of the sun. Their imperial advocacy is to spread their influence across everything and lead the flow of the system. They swarm their enemies with EMP bombs. So that is the reason for difference from another laser like faction. They're using EMP. And the second is we call it the Ascension. Ascension is a faction that use potent energy, ballistic, and fire instrument in their arsenals, but still their population is the most luxurious attempt to leave the world because they have the places, tools to extract, generate, and gather resources. I like to call this synchron, but I already have celestial, so it's hard to tell that. Well, how about uh, however synchron is S? I don't know. For the meantime, I will think about it because I have a faction that start with the letter S. So put the ascension. Synchron is not so much for a faction to said, but the ascension is more of like uh money faction. They love money. So because they have places and tools extract generating and tools to extract and generate and gather resources, Celestial is neutral to them since they produce and exchange good trade from Celestial, and I'm gonna talk about what is OK stands for later. Composed by councils of the Lord, the only faction that lives without the Emperor. Surprisingly, their weapons were advanced and you can see that they controlled the land up from the skies. They are famous for inventing advanced tools that they hype the economy because they were the land craftsmen and trader. Their land is the best way to have good business and work because they are open for any kind of business as long as they're working and approved to their standards. I don't think it will like American civilization, but it's more of like just a golden age civilization for them now. It's only them. For the third faction, here's the hive mind, a cybernetic faction to pose the beholder and amplify the state to defend the human civilization from chaos. They use cyborg and androids to protect the world from any invaders. They were they were they were invested by Evangelion and Omega Kingdom in securing the cities and collecting much information across the continent. They have visible weakness from hacker and system attackers. Their weapons might be vulnerable, but they use precise and seeking weapon. Despite being hackable, they can detect enemies from their device and can debuff them and make them slow. By suppressing the enemies and capturing the enemies for analyzing their behavior. Uh, this is look like Cabal faction for me. I don't know what it's gonna be if this gonna be just pure faction of serving or faction of terrorizing because they're vulnerable. But that is what I like to this faction. This is what I want to compose in this faction. A robot like faction or cybernetic like cyberpunk, but more on cabal type. And here's the Chrono Legion. I have to erase the Chrono since the H on Chrono since the Chrono Legion so it may differs from the Chrono Legion in Red Alert because Chrono Legion in Red Alert is very different from this faction and also that Chrono Legion is good unlike this. Chrono Legion is a league of time invaders who set up hollow bombs their enemy to its resources and hijack facilities by mimicking their enemy identity. More likely, the hollow bomb works like Spike from Valorant, from what I think, but also it's different because different lore. But aside from that, mimicking their enemy is like Spy in Red Alert, but it works because they are not just human. They rumor they're coming under the depths of the ocean after gripping things, after grifting pala yun, lintek na, grifting many facilities, they're classified as demons of the sea, just like sirens. Or likely, unlike beholders, they can only put unconscious their enemy and leave their victims however they want. Fluidity is the main iconic phrase of the faction as they transform whenever they want. I wonder where it went. Their faction is combination of mutant and monster. Definitely there's a furry here. Joke. I don't know. Step aside. Monsters will enter the depths after admitting their defeat from the post-war of United Coalition. I just get the United Coalition name from the Minecraft series of 100 Days of Civilization. But I like to think about it. Also, it reminds me of Gogora. A shark but can be a cat. Also, they kept introducing their innocence from the land dweller, pretending to be not harmful and oppressed in front of their victims. That's the that's their specialty and behavior. And here's the symbol of Chrono Legion. Am I right? Am I right, lad? Definitely, I want to put some Ben 10 series here because of this. I like this symbol a lot. It reminds me of Ben 10. So here's the red faction. I call it the dominant faction, the Dominion. Originated from year 2000's revolt. 4000's pala yun. 4000's revolt. So it means it 4000 years later. But trying to rebuild itself with the power of reconstructing materials, they inherit the best way of regenerating damage more than their rival Evangelion. However, instead of reverting time, they want to accelerate it. They assign their king, but leaving Senate-driven state as their representative. I I want to think like this is like Roman faction with the with the Warhammer like infantries. Kinda like that. They escape and live on the moon, recycling the resources in their main source of life. They call theirs Emperor Supreme. So they're like fascists for me. More likely, mm. Kasi to progress, it's speak under their strength. Any sign of weakness will decrease their benefits and popularity. Unlike Evangelion, if you can prove something in the Senate, they will terminate it. So, if you are not a good king, they could terminate you at any time. They are not loyal. Only the stronger. Only the stronger. Hindi pala. Only the strongest rule. Their sadistic and cruel attitude remains after apocalypse. They use radioactive weapons to disintegrate their enemy. They reform slavery. Yeah, they do slavery, especially if they're not belong to their species. Actually, they kind of just human, but mm, bruh, I think they're incest. Joke. Okay, I will think about it later. But still, they put slavery in in their especially if they're unlikely like them. Yeah, they're a passive faction. That's why they call Dominion. And here's the Dominion. They're living in the moon. Dominion. So here is the butterfly. Here comes the butterfly, Illumina. Illumina is extended faction from Hive. Their destructive intention, using mass cloning, virus, and mutation technology, they spread infestation to Earth. Unlike HM, they want to end the world as they sees as imperfect and should be ended as their founder sees the world as failure, like erasers from other anime, and wants to start that is not what and wants to start new one to another by using piece of the device from Chronolegion. Okay, I'm gonna I really need to fix that because Chronolegion is not H. Shouldn't have H. like Red Alert. Okay, okay. They want to erase the world and make it new again according to their vision. Except they lurk under Omega Kingdom faction. As they find this faction have more power across the world, divided faction, they sacrifice souls to gain energy and resources. Why I said souls? Well, they're destroying consciousness. This is Titans. Titan faction is driven by royal family with few kingdoms. They use large gigantic walkers to keep their civilization intact. But unlike mechas, walkers is just on land and seas. Why? Because you can walk and see if you have a large pit. Especially if water is just not so depth possible. They create guilds and leagues that protect trades of ascension to Omega Kingdom. They were also the reason for eliminating many mutants and monsters before. They are all known using medieval-like weapons and electric weapons that their paralyzed enemy. They prove magic as possible through patience of discovering patterns across the natural and supernatural phenomenon of the earth. They were pioneering the world new extended land after the chaos. Iron Wall. Iron Wall is a nationalist isolated nation faction surrounded by heavy walls, roots from the past of regimes waiting for the new ways to arise. Heavily depended by guns and artillery, they trust they don't trust outsider. I really need to fix it. They don't trust outsider. Okay, okay. Gonna fix it now. They don't trust outsider. Gonna fix it. Another is we need to fix this. Another. We should fix this. Now it is fixed. Hmm. Think about hive mind. Hive mind. What are you doing? The cat is here. Okay, okay, okay. Cybernetic faction. Actually, hive mind supposed to be. I want to look like they are an SCP Foundation. Would you? What do you think about that? An SCP like foundation, but using things like Black Mesa. Think about it. Hmm. But however, there's more than hive mind, which is from Titans. Here's the Titans. We'll go to Iron Wall. Actually, I want to think that they are Iron Wallers. Wallers. I could call them Wallers, no? Iron Wallers. Not Walter White. Iron Wall. Okay. Iron Wallers is a nationalist nation faction surrounded by heavy walls, roots from the past regimes, waiting for the new ways to arise, heavily depended by big guns and artillery. They don't trust outsider. Their specialty is the siege strategy and warfare. They bring a new wall base whenever they invade. Their patience is within governance. They keep building walls and tunnels. They support Celestial Empire as their local trade. Their survival is always dependent on their surroundings. Only few regions of their Earth located but heavily fortified. They live in the highlands and large plateau. They believe that they live separate from the chaos within this wall. I don't know. Imperialists trading with a nationalist. I don't know. Was it possible? I don't think so, but it could be, it could be. And here is Evangelion. Evangelion is using the time machine called Hyperion Arc. Since there's already Arc Hyperion, I call this Hyperion Arc. So that is different. This movement is created to gain control across the state of the world. Hyperspace is synchronization are their main arsenal by duplicating the decoy as non-real state and maintaining their power state by time reversal ignition. However, they can perfect the formula design of the device formula of the design of the device. They can't mimic the qualities of the time machine from their ancestor. They want to preserve the past and secure the future. Or do they? Do they ancestor actually make the time machine? I don't know. They keep large information in their system, so they have a large database, according to the lore. Because of their religious intention, they create the program to find the origins of the world. And you know where the database come from the hive mind. Actually, hive mind it looks like bulk line from Mental Omega. And here's the beholder. I call it like a Urus like faction, but they use green instead of violet. is a corporation, a foundation that tries to gain control over the world by injecting device into their victims because they believe the one true vision and one purpose like Cain. The world will be perfect and peaceful. They use mind control and physics technology not only to manipulate and harness the consciousness of their opponent, they have many captives of their cult, mutants, monster, and gifted. Like Libra. I love Libra. I love Libra. Because I'm Batman. Joke. Well, if you know Libra from Mental Omega, she'll love killing people. Someone say they serve supernatural creatures, the same from the past. They live underground, where no one can oppose them. They target the three largest factions, which is Ascension, Celestial, and Dominion. And you know that, and from that, you will know that Evangelion is not a large faction, and Omega Kingdom. They are certainly just big, big kingdom, but not large. The most large is Ascension and Celestial and Dominion. They have a large vicinity of their area and territory. More likely, Ascension have the most control over the wide worldwide, more than Omega Kingdom. They call their mission the true heaven, as they believe they are God. Also, they are like SCP Foundation. Mm, they live underground. I'm gonna put it. They live underground. They live underground. Like an SCP Foundation. As they work from Dominion. They working for Dominion. Yeah. They working under Dominion. Are we done, Yuri? And here's the Omega Kingdom. Resemblance from the Undertale. But I tweak it with Ting. Yeah, very like Undertale. However, I want to symbolize this faction. It's just like Undertale, but you know, it it really reminds me of a good design. I don't know if very kind similar and Undertale. However, in Undertale they use other design, so I might change this in the later. Mm. I might change the design to your cooperative, bro. There's a sign, a symbol. I could change this later because this is just a concept art. So, what is Omega Kingdom? Omega Kingdom is a product of Beholder. They build itself from the ground until they up to the sky. Yes, Omega Kingdom is from Dominion and Beholder. Their civilization is organized and provided by the tallest tower in the world, providing the high source of energy using high thermal and electrical energy, surrounded with levitating infrastructure. To defend it, they use psionic beam and they love using flashing laser. Okay, they are the another faction that using flashing lasers as their main arsenal and shattering Earth using their levitating technology. Like the Iron Wall, there are only few, which means they're only centralized faction in the world. They live one massive nation composed of large cities. However, because they extracted the large resources from the earth, they were prone to the eyes of invader. This kingdom is led by influential king across the world over factions once before. And here's the last faction. Scourge, a decentralized terrorist faction. They often dare to invade Omega, Ascension, and Celestial. They have stealthy and arsonist passion. They use rocket barrage and passion to immobilize their enemy. They will sacrifice their unit if necessary. They're not sticking to one land and ambushing trades across the world. The Titans are the biggest opposition of they tend to neutralize this faction. Their ambition is to punish the large faction protecting the poor badly. They are questionable for attacking the three faction and not the Dominion who committed slavery. It seems that the larger faction of the faction is guerrilla mobs wanting to create their domain territory where their own values. Where's the own? Actually, own intention na lang. They also run the black market. They were not friendly and only deal with business. Yeah, they love business. And here's the Scourge. Should I tell that they make tunnel too? Put, they make tunnel. So if they live underground. This make tunnel. Actually, hive mind it doesn't supposed to live in underground, so I will just put them in the mountains. In the mountain. So that's all. Mwah.